Excerpts from Operation George written by Stephen Bentley and Mark Dickens. Over 50,000 hours of conversations between William James Fulton and undercover officers engaged on Operation George were secretly recorded. Amongst them, Fulton said, "They've got to shoot a Catholic once a week, about once a week, and that's why they broke away. That's why the LVF broke away from the UVF, was because they weren't killing enough Catholics. And the LVF wanted a Catholic per week killing." Put yourself in the shoes of that undercover officer. How would you react to such disturbing words? These undercover officers are to be admired as the consummate professionals they truly are. They don't flinch, berate, judge, or ask questions. Instead, they associate, infiltrate, befriend their target, and covertly gather the evidence for a future day of reckoning. This Operation George story is a remarkable story of a brave, experienced elite group of undercover officers and their forward-thinking boss, who conceptualized then executed a most brilliant plan to bring a terrorist to justice. 2001, Interview Room, Belfast. Constable Pearce of the Devon and Cornwall Constabulary, together with a specialist armed arrest team, arrested Jim Fulton at his Plymouth home under the Prevention of Terrorism Act. To Fulton's surprise, he was flown to Belfast under armed guard in a military helicopter. His surprise turned to fear as he started to cry like a baby, dreading he was about to be thrown into the dark waters of the Irish Sea. By the time he had been processed at a Belfast holding centre, Fulton had reverted to type, a braggart who thought he had nothing to worry about. That overconfidence was on display at the earliest stages of the disclosure interviews. Fulton was settling into a chair in the Stark interview room, listening closely to the introductory disclosure material articulated by an interviewing officer, undoubtedly thinking, "I'll be out of here soon." Then his world shattered. He rocked back on the chair, almost losing balance whilst he took in what had just heard. "Those people back in Plymouth. You know Neil, Robbie, and the others in that firm you were working for. I must inform you they were all undercover police officers. Furthermore, they recorded your many conversations with them." Fulton rocked forward, regaining his balance, then held his head in his hands. Once more, he started to blubber, but only for a moment. He quickly summed it all up and started to put his defense on tape, for the record. "I mean, I thought I'd got in with a big firm in England and I just wanted to make myself more important, make myself seen that I was a big man," Jim Fulton said. "A firm as in gangsters?" asked a detective. "Right. So, I wanted to make myself out to be a big man." "Right, and so you decided what?" "Just waffle." "A firm as in gangsters?" the interviewer has asked. I ask you to remember that word, firm, because this is a true story about the firm that wasn't a firm at all. It's a story about possibly one of the biggest stings of all time in the world of espionage and covert policing. The sting was as audacious as it was successful. Just like the Truman Show film and the main character played by Jim Carrey, Fulton is the only real person when his environment is controlled and his life is manipulated, so he believes his living cheek by jowl in the company of gangsters in Plymouth, England from 1999 to 2001. His living in a bubble not of his own creation. The rest of the cast in the firm, playing the parts of members of an organized crime group, OCG, are real enough but not genuine. They are all skilled undercover detectives and part of Operation George. This extraordinarily successful police operation was set up in the wake of the murder of the prominent human rights solicitor Rosemary Nelson in Lurgan, Northern Ireland in 1999, and therein lies an irony later to be explained.